good morning, everyone. Apologies for my late start this morning. There was some technical stuff that was not quite going my way, but is now all sorted. So apologies for that. Apologies for the late start. If you have been hanging around wondering, where on earth is she? Why is she not live yet? I am now, and I appreciate you tuning in and holding on for that. This is your daily UK business and coronavirus update through AMs with Annette. That is me. I am Annette Ferguson, CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I am a chartered accountant and certified Profit First professional. And today I will be speaking, as always, about the economy, the banks, the support for UK businesses themselves, all those kinds of things. So thank you so much for tuning in with me today. I am just pulling up all the chats that are available so that I can see what is happening. As I say, thank you so much for being understanding about me being slightly later today than planned with some tech issues happening. So any questions that you might have, please do let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any of those as we go along. So do let me know in the comments if you have any questions or queries. Right, have we got all of the systems that I need open so I can see chats, etc., etc. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Hello, Maria. Hello, David. Hello, Mitchie. Hello, Kiki. Oh, your name is not Kiki. Your name is Elver. Elver? Apologies if I mispronounced that. Sacker. Hello. Yes, I am from the UK and I am covering coronavirus and UK business. Good morning, Janet. Who else do we have on? Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Mohammed. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Susan. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. As always, this is my UK business and coronavirus update that happens at 11 a.m. weekdays. A little late in going live today. Hello, Lydia. Thank you so much for tuning in. A little late today, but we are here nonetheless after some small tech glitches first thing when I was supposed to be going live at 11. All sorted now. So first thing I want to speak about today is the furlough scheme, the job retention scheme. We have spoken about this a few times over the last few days, and there's kind of mounting fear that removing the support under this is going to cause a wave of redundancies. Excuse me. Currently, we have 1/5 of the workforce furloughed. That's 6.3 million jobs are currently on furlough, and over 2 million people have applied for universal credit. There's an increase in 2 million people. The government are currently trying to work out a phase-out process, how we actually get people back working without what they are calling a cliff, dropping off a cliff edge. Rishi, the Chancellor, has said that there will be no cliff edge, and they are trying to work out a process to do that. Norman Lamont, previous Chancellor, was saying that some people sitting at home may not realize their jobs have disappeared or about to disappear, or their employer is in serious trouble. This links to what I have now been saying for a few weeks, that the people on furlough are potentially a big pot of unemployed people in reality. And there's going to be some serious things happening as that support is removed and that we move back as well. Henry, thank you for your comments about your views on coronavirus. We are talking about UK business and the effects at the moment. I am not here to discuss anything health related around that. It is all about UK business, coronavirus, and the economy and all those kinds of things. So I understand your views on that, but this is not the live stream to be expressing those. We have business groups saying that given business uncertainty on the conditions in which they are operating is not a good place to be, and businesses need the certainty. So that they understand what will happen as the economy reopens. They need to know the support they can expect. That is absolutely crucial in business planning, so that businesses know whether they can stay afloat, basically, or not. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Lily. Good morning, Mitchie. Good morning, Howard. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. So, employers are saying that they want furlough extended to a more flexible form, allowing furloughed staff, perhaps, for example, to return part-time. There's also some discussion about whether there might be a tapered system, so reducing furlough support to, say, 60%, but still leaving it in the position whereby if your employer has no work for you, you do not do any work. You are not allowed to work. There's various methods of pulling off a furlough that's being discussed to try and avoid a sudden mass spike of millions and millions of people going into redundancy. It seems to me like all we're doing is potentially just kicking this down the road a little bit, because, you know, many businesses have been massively adversely affected, and it's going to be very difficult to see how they can suddenly operate at the rates they were operating before. Time will tell on this, though. I'm going to take a drink of my tea. Any questions that you have, please do let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So please do let me know. Michelle is saying, what I'm concerned about is how businesses survive when track and tracing starts. That should an employee be alerted to self-isolate? What could that mean for the whole team? Would we need to close the whole business? What would we do then? And how would businesses survive? Yeah, I mean, this is an incredibly great question, Michelle, and we actually have no idea. You know what, for the information we had before lockdown, it was if you are exposed to somebody with coronavirus, if you're somebody who has tested positive, then you would need to self-isolate for 14 days. So unless that rule and that information is going to change after we come out of lockdown, then under that situation, we would have to then self-isolate the whole team, the whole business, anyone that's been in contact with somebody. We would then potentially have to self-isolate all your clients. We'd have to self-isolate all their clients. We'd have to self-isolate. It feels like there might be a huge ripple effect as we start opening up with this contact tracing situation, whereby where does that stop and how does that actually play out in a situation where people are able to go back to work? Very, very difficult to know at the moment, Michelle, what the situation might be with that. But it does sound like it would be very similar to before lockdown, when we were advised that had we been in contact with somebody with symptoms or who had tested positive, we were required to self-isolate for 14 days. So very, very difficult. Only in Florida, thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words. I appreciate all the follows, the likes, the loves. I massively appreciate when you share out this broadcast to your followers, to your fans, to your friends, whichever platforms you are on. I massively appreciate it. The hearts, the thumbs up, all that stuff is very, very much appreciated. So thank you for that. We are hearing that non-bank lenders are saying the bounce back loan scheme will damage competition in the loans market for small businesses. At the moment, there are only a small handful of banks that are able to offer the bounce back loan scheme to UK businesses wanting to participate in that scheme. Now, there have been an incredible amount of applications, and there has been money coming out as well. Some banks were even paying out on the same day, on Monday, but we're getting many banks are taking 24 to 48 hours. And since that opened on Monday, we're starting to see more and more payments hitting people's bank accounts, which is great. Of course, as with any piece of technology that is suddenly built very, very quickly, there are a few people having a moan and a gripe about, issues that they are personally experiencing. But I think overall, we have to say that this has been pretty incredible. Again, how fast it has been rolled out within a week. This has bypassed many of the systems that the banks would normally use. So the banks have had to rework how they work to be able to provide these. Consumer credit regulations have had to be reworked, and all those kinds of things. So this is quite incredible, really, in reality, even if you are one of those people that is feeling a little bit annoyed just now and a little bit gripey with your bank because things aren't working the way that you wanted, or the app's not letting you in and all that kind of stuff. I completely understand, but we do have to give credit as well where credit is due in terms of getting this money out to people as fast as possible, which was absolutely the aim of the bounce back loans themselves. Now, of course, if your lender does not offer a bounce back loan at the moment, it makes it much harder. HSBC is really the only bank that is accepting non-clients, and they've had obviously a vast swathe of applications from non-clients, and they have to go through their usual money laundering checks, etc. So it will take longer for those to pay out. And that is one big reason why non-bank lenders are saying that they want to be included in the scheme. Many have been saying this since the beginning of the coronavirus business interruption loan scheme, and some have been approved for the original loan scheme, Funding Circle, for example, being one of those. But many fintech businesses are saying they want to be involved as well. Starling, Tide, etc. are wanting to join in too, so that they can also offer this type of borrowing to their customers and clients. Their worry, of course, is that if their clients have to open accounts with other banks in order to access this, then they will lose the customer, and that basically puts a pressure on competition and anti-competitiveness as well. If people are being forced to use some of the big high street banks, is there a situation there rather than being allowed to use other banking facilities? So that is something that is being looked at. The British Business Bank is currently processing applications for businesses to be allowed to, or for fintech businesses to be allowed to offer these. The problem, of course, at their end is that they have had to massively scale up their operations from what they were before. And of course, they have people off sick and all that kind of stuff. So there's a bottleneck there in terms of getting other businesses on board and fintechs on board as well, which is causing a little bit of issue. Now, if you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments. I am monitoring all comments on all channels, so please do let me know. I am going to just take a look. Hello, Chikala. Thank you for joining me. I can see a number of people having followed me. Thank you, William. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Arash. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lavini. Thank you, Dan. Hello, Lexi. Nice to have you on board. Hello, Marta. I can't see any questions. Let's see. Hello, Nev. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for saying good morning. I do appreciate that. So what else have we got to cover this morning? We are seeing over 50 commercial property groups calling for the government to extend business rate holidays to all sectors. So, of course, business rate holidays were announced to specific sectors, trying to support businesses at this time, but there is calls to extend that out. They are saying otherwise businesses, jobs and livelihoods will be lost. There is a huge strain on businesses at the moment, of course, in terms of costs, and they are saying, please, can we extend those rates holidays? Now, I spoke about a week or two ago the issue that councils are experiencing, though, as well, because councils, of course, have less revenue coming in and they have higher costs at the moment, too. So it's going to be very difficult because that's going to put another strain on the councils, and councils legally have to operate a balanced budget. They are not allowed to be loss-making. They have to balance the books. So if there are extensions to rates, holidays, and those kinds of things, it puts an even greater pressure on the council, who have even less money for services that they need to provide. So that is going to be a big problem in that situation if we do have an extension to business rates holidays. UK business activity has been at its lowest level on record. There is warning that businesses have severe cash constraints. Now, if you're running a business, you probably are feeling some severe cash constraints. Of course, many businesses have had no revenue for well over a month now. And that, of course, puts massive strain on everything. Michelle is saying in relation to that, anything on commercial landlords? Well, Michelle, I don't know if you heard my live yesterday. I was speaking about potentially a system of furlough for commercial rent, basically. That is being discussed at the moment, and that is a situation whereby what would happen is the tenant would agree to pay a certain amount of commercial rent. The landlord would agree for a commercial rent reduction, and then the government would basically pay the bit in the middle. So it would mean everybody kind of meeting at some point, and that's not necessarily the actual middle point, but everybody meeting at some point on that path, and the government subsidizing part of that as well. So that's what we're hearing in relation to potential support and potentially going to work for commercial premises. It is working in a couple of other countries at the moment. Well, so that is why it's being considered in the UK to try and support both businesses that work out of premises and support the commercial landlord at the same time. So that is, do I have any links on this? Yeah, Michelle, I can send you those links over. The Financial Times did an article on it yesterday, so you can see in there, but I will pop the links into the Uncover Wealth community as well. The Uncover Wealth community, for anyone that doesn't know about it, is my private Facebook group, and that is where I share everything first in there. So if you, I would love if you want to come and join the Uncover Wealth community. If you're not already in it, absolutely invite you to do that. You can hop over to Facebook, just type Uncover Wealth community into the search bar and come and hop in and join me there. And I will share those links to the commercial lending, or commercial tenant rather, furlough that's being proposed into the group for you there, Michelle. I'm going to take another drink of my tea as well. The other thing that we are seeing is warnings from business communities about a second wave. And if we have a second wave, that it will be even more detrimental to businesses than if we stay in lockdown. We've been hearing this for a few days now. We got some figures on that. We are hearing that at the moment there's around 591,000 firms at risk of going under. If we stay in lockdown for 3 months in total, there will be approximately 1.1 million UK business failures. However, if we go into a second wave, that is expected to triple. So we need to be very, very aware of that situation and what that means. And at the moment, we need to be incredibly strategic about how we're thinking about our business. Of course, we need to be strategic at any point in time. But at this point, when there's a lot of pressure from all angles, we need to try and think clearly and strategically about our businesses and not make decisions from a place of panic either. Incidentally, I do have a podcast episode which I just recently recorded on this. Now, I think it might even be going out today. It's certainly going out this week. So my podcast is Uncover Wealth Radio. You can search for it in any podcast players that you might be using, and you can come over and listen to that as well, where I'm speaking about making decisions from a place of panic and instead of kind of strategizing. So do come over and have a listen to that too if you are interested. That is Uncover Wealth Radio, which is my podcast. So I think I have covered everything that I was intending to cover today. Let me see if we've got any more questions that have come in. Let's see. I can't see any there. Let's see if we've got any questions over here. No, and let's see if we've got any coming through on this side. I don't think we do. Okay, good. I think we have all the questions. Please do let me know if you have any. Please pop them in the comments so that I can respond to you. If you are watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments, and I can also come back and say hello to you. I can also answer any questions that you may have as well if you are watching on the replay. Or if you are listening to this on the podcast, it does stream out into the podcast. So if you are listening on the podcast, please do come over to social media, any of my channels, and please do come and ask me any questions that you may have on this. You are more than welcome to do so. So I think that is us for today. I don't think we have any more questions coming through. So thank you for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, as always, 11 a.m. UK, for this daily live stream update on UK business and coronavirus and how it may be affecting you. We cover the banks, we cover the government, the economy, we cover any breaking news and any immediate updates that have been provided by the government for the various schemes and support that is available as well. So thank you very much for tuning in today. I appreciate your time as always. Like I said, I invite anyone who's not already in the Uncover Wealth community to come over there and join me inside that Facebook group. I would love to have you in there. So until tomorrow, take care everyone, and we'll speak soon.